Morning to you. Hey, it's Kirk Duncan. Welcome to my training here today. Super good to be with you. And I already see that a couple of you are jumping in the chat here this morning, and great to see that conversation already starting. So if you're not part of the chat, open that up from your Zoom toolbar, which is just right there in your buttons, in your Zoom toolbar buttons. And because I'm sure there'll be a great conversation going on there during this training today. My name's Kirk Duncan, and I love training about empaths and about how to connect people, how to coach people. I've been doing this for 19 years. 19 years ago. Holy smokies. It's been a long time since I've been started this. And I love this. I love getting into people's lives and helping them, guiding them, helping them fix what's going on, correct, mend, heal, all the different kinds of stuff that goes on with us as human beings. I love this work. I feel like it's more of a mission more than work. I really do. I don't feel like I go to work every day. I feel like I wake up in the morning and I'm working on my mission. I'm working on like what I feel like I'm called to do. And I definitely have found the place where I fit. And so 19 years later, here I am. I'm still going at it. I love it. I love it. Now, I'm a performance coach. I'm not a therapist, a counselor, or a psychologist, but I've got a lot of experience to share from my experience of teaching seminars, working with people one-on-one. I in teaching seminars, like for 15 years, that's a long time. I was doing a live 3-day seminar every single month for 15 years. And we're talking like 300 to 1,000 people every month doing a live seminar. So I have got to work with the people, right? Like lots of people all from all over the world, all different countries would fly in and be part of these seminars. And I just absolutely loved it. And the funny thing is, I did not find out that I was an empath until somebody called me out in a class. They're like, "Hey, you're an empath." And I was like, "What? I'm an empath? What is that?" And it was this funny finding. I never in a million years ever considered or even didn't even know what an empath was. But I've known that I see things differently than most people like that are around me. I see things differently. I hear things differently. I notice things differently than other people. And so I knew I was different. I didn't realize what my difference was. Like, what is this? And so over the years of learning, understanding it, I've gotten better and better and better at it. And my skill keeps getting into this next level. And then I meet people who are struggling. I meet people who are struggling and they're struggling with their their unique ability to connect and to understand life and people, and they don't understand how it works. Like how does their empath gift work? And so for a lot of those 19 years, I've been helping people. Well, actually, probably about 17 of those years. 17 of those years, I've been helping people understand their empath gift and doing that from the stage, doing that from webinars, one-on-one coaching, also being on TV. My wife and I have been on TV over 85 times, but we have been able to help a tremendous amount of people understand themselves so that they can be more effective and efficient in what they're doing. So I'm here today to be able to share with you a lot of my insights and my understanding, and hopefully I'm going to help answer some questions for you of what you're experiencing. And at least I'm going to connect the dots in some way, somehow for you, because I know there's a reason why you're here today. I know that there's always this synchronicity of, you read my email and you're like, whoa, that connects. And it's like, great, let's talk. So here we are today. When I first started teaching or wanting to help people, I I did not know. I was in the I don't know stage about understanding myself and my unique ability. And it when you don't know something, I think you're the same way as me, is like when you don't know something, it definitely is difficult. It's a challenge. It's a struggle. And then you get into the knowing, you're starting to figure it out. And that's even still kind of a struggle. But then when you can start to use your unique ability on purpose and understand how it works, wow, an incredible opportunity is when you get how it works, you can manage it, handle it, take care of yourself better in your own unique way, and you start to really use your unique gift. Man, there's a lot of great impact you can make in people's lives. And so I want to walk you through this and help you understand yourself better and also answer questions. So if you have questions about anything that I share with you here this morning, go to your Zoom toolbar and go to the spot there that says Q&A. And I'll stop at different times during the webinar and answer questions that have been typed into the Q&A section of the Zoom toolbar. But yeah, don't hesitate to ask questions in there. I'd love to see what's going on and see what I can do to support you today. That'd be cool. All right, cool. So if you've never heard of what an empath is, you're in for a trip today. I'm gonna start there first. Um, the interesting thing about an empath is that it's actually a neurological design. You're not weird, you're not broken, you're not flawed. And yes, you might be called sensitive. You might be called sensitive or oversensitive or thin-skinned, like, and there's all these names that people call empaths. But really, it actually is a neurological design. You literally are wired differently in your head. And so because of your neurological design, you actually see, hear, and feel things differently than a lot of other people. Like it's this crazy, crazy, crazy thing is that there's about 2% of people are actually empaths, like real solid. And then of those two, like only half of them are really using their gift on purpose. So there's literally 1% of the population, 1 out of 100, that is actually using their empath gift on purpose. And so if you've figured out that you're an empath and you're like, whoa, I'm using this on purpose to help people. You're coaching people, you're teaching people, you're counseling people. You are in a very rare category. I mean, just really rare category in this 1% group of people. And that's why you stand out in a group. That's why you feel like you're the only one and you're looking for like other people like you, is because you are the only 1 out of 100. And 100 people is a lot of people. 1 out of 100, that's like 99 people or 98, 99 people are looking at you like, what is up with you? And there's a mental game to this, to be able to stand strong with that your uniqueness matters, that the way you are counts, that you have value even though you're different. So it's when I started looking into, what is the rarity of who we are and what we do, it's just so wild. So wild. Okay, back to the neurological design. Like there are different parts of your brain and your nervous system that is literally completely different than a typical person. That's what's wild about this is when you start looking into, the way that what they're finding out about empaths is that different parts are actually they're shaped and formed differently. And there's a lot that happens to us that affects this to be able to put us in this kind of a position. Now, and you'll hear some people, this is kind of wild, but you'll hear some people say that trauma shaped a person to become an empath. So if you watch that YouTube video or you listen to that speaker, they're going to say trauma shaped you to have these higher level of senses. And then you'll hear other people say, oh, this was a God-given gift. Okay, then you hear that part. So there's trauma, there's God-given gift, and then there's also a person who really works on personal development that shapes and forms them to be more in tune and aware of other people. So we got trauma, God-given gift, and literally developed. And those are three main paths of information that people are sharing, like what has shaped a person to become an empath. And I've met people from all of those different paths, and they're all good. They're all good. They're all great because I mean, even though trauma, it's like, oh my goodness, we have all had trauma somewhere in our life, right? And it does affect us. All of our life experiences affect us. But now what do we do with it? Now here we are. We see, we feel, we hear things differently than a typical person. And at first it can seem like this is like some kind of curse because our senses are so high and so open to seeing, feeling, hearing so much information. It can be very overwhelming. It can be shocking. It can be disturbing. And how do you manage this? How do you turn it off? How do you turn it on? How do you control the flow? Like how do you do this? Well, the beautiful part about this is that we can actually train our mind how to interact with this unique ability that you have and to be able to have some control and some self-control over it so that it's not full blast all the time and just drowning you all the time. There's ways to be able to do this. So I'm going to walk through that. But the beautiful part I want to point out that I think if you really think about this, is that this neurological design that you have is a real thing. It's not, it's not just you're not just a freak of nature. It's a real thing. And they're literally studying empaths now more than ever, trying to understand what it is that's going on with a person with their neurological design that's an empath, because it is interesting, and it had the part that's causing psychologists and science and therapists and counselors very interested and curious about this is the fact that empaths are actually becoming are being known as, someone who can be accurate about what they sense in other people. It's no longer just a feeling that they have, but they literally can call out details and data points about a person that are accurate. And it's like, whoa, they're really picking up on real information. Like this is a real thing. It's not some kind of thing that is just, like you're not guessing. Guess what I'm trying to say is that you're not guessing. And so this neurological design is that it's like, how did you get wired this way? How did you do this? And so as an empath, I keep reminding myself that this is my design. That's what it is. This is my design. And I'm going to learn how to master this design. And I want you to write that down. If you're taking notes, if you're driving, don't try to write and drive. But if you're sitting there with a pad of paper or your journal, to claim this, to claim your design. This is my design. The way I'm neurologically designed, if it was from trauma or God-given gift, or you've developed to a point that you're like this, but to claim the design that this is your design and you choose to master it. This is my design and I choose to master it. Even right now, even if you're listening to me and you're like, you know what? This is hurting me. It's drowning me. It's overwhelming me. I don't like it. My life is terrible, miserable because of my sensitivities. Even if you're at that bottom level, like you've hit rock bottom with this and you're here with me today. And if we keep seeing it as a problem, if you keep seeing this as a problem, then it will be bigger than you. and you'll never get a grip on it. Never. You cannot get a grip on something that you see that is bigger than you and a monster. It just your brain's not going to wrap around it. But when you choose that this is my neurological design, this is my design, and I choose to master it, just to start to switch that thinking that this is a unique ability that you are going to learn how to master. You're going to take it on and go, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to learn the skills. I'm going to find somebody to learn from that I can learn the skills, how to conquer this, how to master this. So it's a gift I can use. It's not something I'm suffering from because I know what it feels like to suffer from it. I mean, it almost drove me to taking my life. I mean, and that's usually a common experience with people who are high level empaths is that it gets to the point like it ruins you if you don't understand what it is and how it's working, because it is just all consuming and overwhelming. So starting right now, the beginning part of conquering anything is to be able to claim the fact that, yeah, this is my design and I'm going to master it. And it can, that right there can be a kind of a wrench you're throwing into the system where your empath gift has been kind of like overrunning you, and now you're going to step up and say you're going to master it. Instead, if you don't like the word master, you can say I'm going to figure it out. There you go. You can say I'm going to figure it out. Because for me when I didn't know I was an empath. I didn't know what was going on with me. I just knew I could see, feel, and hear things differently than others. And a lot of times I'd keep my mouth shut. And then when people would ask, "Hey, Kirk, what's your opinion?" And I'd share my opinion, the people were like, "What? Where did you come up with that?" You know, or I would sense things about people and people were like, "No, that's not true." Because the other five people wouldn't see it the way I saw it. So I was always outnumbered, always the the one who stood out. And so it's like there wasn't a lot of support. And so that just year after year after year, that would just feel and just eat at me that something's up. How come I'm so off compared to everybody else? And I thought I was off because nobody else could validate what I was seeing and feeling and hearing. They couldn't validate it. So I had like zero validation from other people. And I'm like, I am a weirdo, you know, and that wears on your system and can like really lower your self-esteem and really lower your confidence in yourself when the way you see, feel, and hear things is not like how everybody else sees it. You wonder if you're from a different planet. Like, am I from a different planet? Like, what is going on? Because there's no validation. And then when you go to say something, usually people try to discount an empath because they don't see, feel, and hear things the same way. And so growing up with not being validated and even being discounted, that can wear on you and literally eat holes in your self-esteem. So I get that. And like confidence, forget it. You know, and then you might even start to like shut your mouth and not share what you see, feel, and hear, and you see it, and then later you're like, oh, see, it is true. And you're like, oh, I wish I would have said something. But then, you know, because you don't say much and you don't say a lot about what you see, feel, and hear, then your gift really doesn't excel because you're actually trying to like stuff it in a box, you know, or stuff it in a bag. And you're like, oh, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to use this. And so the gift kind of like just gets clunky and rusty because it's not being used. And so right now, when I'm saying, you know, you really are neurologically designed differently than a typical person, you are different. And this difference is really good, but it has a lot of bad labeled to it. So when I say, you know, hey, when you start to claim like, I'm going to figure this out, that's a really hard turn to make. But if you did start to say things like, you know what, this is a neurological design, this is my design, I'm going to figure this out. If you started using your tongue to change the direction of your mind, Use your tongue to change your tongue and your lips to change the direction of your mind. Lead your mind with your tongue and your lips by saying, I'm going to figure this out. And if you're okay to say, I'm going to master this, then say that. But if you're not with that, just say, I'm going to figure this out. Start using your lips and your tongue to change the direction of your mind, that what you see, feel, and hear is true. What you see, feel, and hear is true. Just because nobody else in the room can't see it, feel it, or hear it, it doesn't mean it's not true. It's because the way they're designed, it doesn't see that. And this is where you start to realize, like, okay, my difference is needed because there's 98, 99 people in the room who can't see and feel and hear what I'm noticing. And so that, to start to realize how important you are to a group of 100 people, because you're the unique one out of every 100, right? I know that's a really big, a big wide turn to make here, but to start to play with that thinking, to play with that, because I had to do that. I had to start going, okay, I'm important here. I might not have the confidence to say it, but I'm going to have the confidence to think it. I think confidence is an inside game before it becomes an outside game. Inside my mind and body, I can start to have confidence, even though I'm not saying it a lot yet. I can start on the inside by saying, you know what? It's my design. I'm different. I'm not a typical person, and it's okay. What I see, feel, and hear is different than what other people see, feel, and hear. And I see things that they can't see yet, and it's okay. And it's okay. I'm needed. I'm needed. That can start to turn your inside confidence in a new direction if you use your lips and your tongue to change the direction of your mind, because we have to do that as an empath. We have to work on our mindset about who we are. We have to. We have to work on the mindset of who we are. If we don't get clear in our mind how we see ourselves as a good thing, then our gift stays rusty and clunky, and it just never feels right. But if we start to claim our design and we start to see that we matter, just even we're playing with the idea, just playing with it, talking to ourselves this way, we begin to make the turn, the change. So if this is a God-given gift, that God went, you are going to have this design. Or he puts you through crap and trauma and terrible things, and now you're designed this way. Okay, there's your path. Or if you've been doing personal development a lot and now you've gotten to this high level of sensitivity, whichever way you've gotten here, and that's helped you arrive to this point, our mindset about ourselves, the way we see ourselves, is a key factor in how we're able to use this and be able to be really effective with it. So I know from my journey, mindset has been a key factor about how I talk to myself about how I am, how I talk to myself about how I am. And I know I'm going to get little to no validation from typical people. And I know I'm going to stand out. And I know it's not going to be the common opinion about wherever I'm at. But I can, in my mind, I can go, I'm unique. I'm 1 out of 100. I'm 1 out of 100. And it's always a joy to meet another empath, because then there's some validation. You know what I mean? It's just like, we should all like live in the same neighborhood. Right? Oh my goodness. But until then, I get to be good to myself and be kind to myself, that I'm different, and the way I see, feel, and hear things, it matters. And I play an important role in this life. And the reason why I know I play an important role in this life about how I see, feel, and hear things is because people today are struggling seeing and feeling and hearing. Like, they're getting really gummed up. They're getting really blotched up inside a lot of panic and fear and catastrophizing and a lot of hesitation, procrastination. They don't look inside. They hide their feelings. They bury their past. They don't forgive. They take it out on each other. They're on edge. They're just, really struggling. And so they can't figure themselves out. They can't see, feel, and hear what's happening to them on the inside. And so we're hitting a breaking point in the world where people are losing touch to their insides. They're losing touch. And they're starting to look outward for help. And the best person for them to cross paths with is an empath. Whatever position or career that empath is in, but if they can meet somebody who has empathic abilities, wow, will their life change? Because empaths, we can see, feel, and hear what's going on inside them. We can sense it. We can feel it. We can find it. And so empaths are like, the world's on a breaking point, and those people who are developing their empath gift and building their confidence about themselves are going to be greatly needed in helping the people, help them solve their problems, help them gain their sanity, help them figure themselves out and save that relationship and connect back to God. And like, they need help. And that's where we come in. And that's why I'm doing this class. That's why I do all these empath classes, is because I want to help you be more ready. So as the people are looking, they can find you, because then you can help them. I want to help you be ready. So as they find you, your confidence is there, your clarity is there, you know what to do, and you can do a good job because you're an empath. So I love this, right? I love this, but you are not typical. You're not typical. You are unique. You are unique. Your neurological design is different than a typical person. You're 1 out of 100 or 2 out of 100, one of the 2 out of 100. And so today you're claiming it. This is my design, and I'm going to figure it out. No matter what's happened up until now, starting today, claim the design and claim you're going to figure it out. So, and even if you're an experienced empath, there's still these weird parts about it. Like, what do you do with this? It's okay. So claim that you're going to figure it out. You're going to find your answer. You're going to learn the skill. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to find the answer. I'm going to find the skill about how to do this. And that's what's really helped me continue to improve my gift and improve how I do things, is because I've got a taste of it, that there are a lot of answers that are out there. There's these different parts of who we are that are designed differently. Means that as you experience things, you're also going to have reactions and responses that are not typical, where one person can, watch a movie and be fine with it. You could be watching the same movie and have really big reactions to it because of your level of sensitivity. So when you're amongst people and you're noticing that you're really different than the others around you, honor yourself, that it's okay. Don't try. Don't try to be like a typical person. It's not worth it. Don't hide yourself, because don't down on yourself because you're different. Because you'll smash your gift, but to honor yourself and go, hey, I'm a little sensitive here. I got to remove myself. Now, I'm going to walk through really fast what an empath experience is like. And then I want to jump into more of our topic here today. But empath is like tuning into people, right? It's kind of like a radio station. Like, every person has their own frequency. A radio, like the good old days when you turn the knob, you dial into a different frequency, and then you would pick up on a different radio station. And so and even like cell phones, if you want to text a particular person, you text on their number. So every person has a number, like a phone number or an email. And that unique email or that unique phone number goes to that particular person. And so if you wanted to text me, you would type in my phone number, or email me, you type in my email address, and now that message comes to me. So that's in sending messages or receiving messages. Now, what an empath can do, empaths can tune into people, like dialing in on that person's frequency or their number. And so what happens is every person 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every person, their brain is working, and there is all kinds of thoughts, images, movies, memories, replaying experiences constantly going on 24/7. Every person has feelings. There's some kind of emotion flowing through the person. Constantly, they're in some state of emotional level that's just going on 24/7. It's never zero. We are never at zero with thoughts, and we're never at zero with feelings. And so underneath the skin of every person, there's thoughts and feelings going on all the time. And these thoughts and feelings, these are data points or information. And this information is flowing around inside the body all day long and all night long. Then around us, we all know that we have a personal space. There's this bubble that we have around us that if somebody were to step into it, we can tell that they are in our personal space. And so we all know that there's a personal space that we have. And this personal space fills up with our thoughts and our feelings. Our thoughts and feelings do not stay under our skin. Our skin was never developed to be able to contain our thoughts and feelings. Our skin is to contain our muscles, our bones, and our organs, not thoughts and feelings, because thoughts and feelings are on a frequency, like a radio wave, like a vibration through the air. So our thoughts and feelings come out of our body and are flowing from us all day long. They're rippling out or flowing from us all day long. But they are the most intense or most dense right inside the body and also right around the body. That's called our personal space. So this information then from our personal space continues to move further and further and further out. In fact, it never stops. It just keeps going. So every human being, their thoughts and feelings come out of their body and they fill up their personal space, and then they continue to flow out from them. Now, this is where we get the terms attitude, mood, vibe, and energy. And people use these terms, they interchange these terms depending on who you're talking to. They'll say, "Oh, I feel your vibe," or "I feel your energy," or "Oh, I sense your mood or your attitude." So these words all describe or are describing the thoughts and feelings that are felt from that particular person. Energy tends to be the most common term used, is that, "Hey, I can feel your energy," or "I can sense your energy." But what energy really is a mixture of thoughts and feelings. It's a mixture. And this mixture of thoughts and feelings that then combine to be that person's energy, I'm going to call information. This is information. And so every human being is radiating thoughts and feelings that come from their body that can be called energy. But I also, as an empath, I see that as information that is flowing from the person. So every person has information flowing from them every single day. Now, the sensibility chart, a typical person will pick up on energy, mood, vibe, attitude, this information that's transmitting from every person. The typical person can pick up on this information about 10 to 30% of it. The typical person picks up on about 10 to 30% of the information that's being transmitted from people 24/7. That's a typical person. An empath can pick up between 50% and 100% of the information being transmitted from that person. Depending on your skill level, your confidence level, your mindset level, and how your gift is developed, you can pick up between 50 and 100% of that information that's being transmitted. Information, again, I'm going to say information is the thoughts and feelings of the person, the mixture of thoughts and feelings from the person. And so as we look at this, there's a big difference between typical people and empaths. Empaths have a higher level of their senses. Their sensibility is at a higher level. They have the ability to sense more of the information coming from the person. That's what I'm calling sensibility, is that we pick up on more of that information. Now, if you did not know this as an empath, this is one of the reasons why you're overwhelmed, is because you're getting 50 to 100% of this information coming to you loud and clear. So if it was only 10 to 30%, just imagine that if there was a garden hose. Let's imagine a garden hose, and you are drinking out of the garden hose, and the garden hose is only on between 10 and 30%. You could drink out of that garden hose because it's only on 10 to 30%. But if the garden hose was on 50 to 100%, you're trying to get a drink of it, you're going to feel like you're drowning because there's so much coming to you. So this is one of the first reasons why empaths are on like information overload, download exhaustion. This is why empaths get tired so often, is because they're receiving a larger amount, almost 3 times as much information from a person than a typical person. And all that information is flowing towards you as an empath. And your brain might be in a place where it's trying to interpret all of it all the time. And that will overwhelm you because you're trying to drink out of a garden hose that's on 50 to 100% full throttle. You're going to drown. Now imagine being in a group of people. This is why empaths struggle in a group of people, because there's so much information coming from every single person, and their brain and body are trying to absorb and interpret and analyze all these people because the empath is not set up to monitor this and to reduce the amount coming in. And so empaths just get overwhelmed so fast because their sensibility is so high. So this could be a bad thing if you don't know how to control the flow. It's a bad thing when you don't know how to control the flow because you're drowning all the time. Too much information. Too much information. Actually, you're getting to the point where you actually start to lose your identity because you got so much of other people's information inside your space. You can't tell the difference between you and somebody else. You can't tell the difference. You get lost. You kind of like, you get diluted. That's a good word, diluted. So the sensibility of an empath, there's a lot coming at you. And this is why we have to train the brain how to handle it and what to do with it. Because your brain did not come with the instruction manual of how to handle 50 to 100%. Your brain doesn't know what to do with that. It has to be taught what to do with that. Because you are a typical person with a neurological design that gives you the opportunity to have more flow come to you. But your brain and body is a typical person, but you have the neurological design of an empath. So here's the challenge for you as an empath is you are a typical person with an extraordinary gift that you don't know how to handle. You're a typical person with an extraordinary gift that your brain did not come pre-programmed how to handle 50 to 100% coming from an individual. So if you're one-on-one coaching, this is why you go through a couple clients in a day and then you're just wiped out and then just kind of a little messy inside. And then if you have a lot of clients, by the end of the week, you just want to get away from people because you're drowning. So what's missing is how to move your brain and your body to be at the level of an empath to match your neurological design. So the neurological design is there, but your brain and body is a typical person. And so your brain and body are like, oh, we can handle 10 to 30% because that's how we are. But your neurological design, meaning literally your brain has certain parts that are high sense, but it doesn't know what to do with it. What do I do with this? How do I handle this? And this is where empaths drowned. They get overwhelmed. They get burnt out. They go into resentment and regret really fast about things because there's just so much. But that's the sensibility is dramatically different than a typical person, which, if not managed, can shut you down and literally throw you into depression. Empaths have a tendency to struggle so much that it throws them into depression because there's so much information piling on top of them, they can't get out from underneath it. They're just underneath so much information coming from the person, a mixture of their thoughts and feelings coming to them, and then it gets in their space and then into your body, and it's just too much. And then it'll throw you into levels of depression. So what needs to happen is how do you teach and train your brain and your body to be able to handle this information overload that's coming? Now, you notice I'm not saying your spirit or your soul. Now, for the rest of the training, I'm going to say mind, body, and soul. So your soul gets it. It knows what's to do, but the brain and body don't. Even though you're neurologically designed to be an empath, your spirit's like, yeah, we love people. Let's connect. Let's totally read their information and help them. But the brain and body are the ones that suffer. They're the ones that suffer the most from being an empath because they don't know what to do. So the only thing they know how to do is absorb everything that comes to them. That's the brain and body's default, is take on and absorb all incoming information from everywhere. Geez. That's terrible. That's just going to drown you so fast. But that's the brain and body's default answer is absorb and take on all information coming in from all angles. And this is why we have so many empaths that struggle and overwhelmed and just depleted, diluted, and throws them into levels of depression. But this is what's happening. It's what's happening. Your sensibility is high. It's high. It's high. It's really high. And so that means there's got to be some skill and some mindset training on to retrain the brain and the body what to do. Like, hold on a second. This isn't working. We have to change how this is working. Because your empath, your neurological design is it's on. It's always on. This is why empaths tend to take more naps This is why empaths need to shut down. This is why empaths have to get away from people. They're trying to give themselves a break. This is why an empath wants to be by themselves, go for a walk, hide under the covers, turn off their phone, turn off the lights, as they're trying to get away from the incoming information. Does this make sense? I hope this is making sense, because I try to create these visuals to help, like, but tell me if this makes sense. I see questions. I'll jump on that question here in just a moment. Okay. Um, yeah. Oh, in fact, let me just answer that question right now. So the question in the Q&A is, could we say that a good amount of this information is not important all the time, and we should find a way to turn it off, at least partially? Yes and no. So I'm going to show you what's going on inside your head and how you can make a shift. I'm going to show you what to do. Okay, so that slide's coming up. So, but that's a really good question, is like, is all this information important all the time? No. But is it flowing from people all the time? Yes. Your brain and body have a default answer of absorbing and taking on all incoming information. Now, I hope you hear me when I say this, for all of you. The brain and the body, the reason why it has a default response of absorb information from all angles is because the brain and body are always monitoring your surroundings to keep you safe. So it's designed to pick up on all the information, collect it, analyze it, and keep you safe. That's a typical person. Hey, let's look around and let's make sure my surroundings are safe. I'm okay. There's no lions, tigers, or bears coming at me. And so it's a safety default to absorb the information coming in and to analyze it. But as an empath, to absorb all the information coming to you and analyze it, it hurts you. So the same default of safety isn't safe anymore because it's too much information. So I'm going to show you how to switch this. There's a new way to start practicing, and I'm going to show you that slide here in just a moment. So great question. Thank you for asking the question, because it helps me describe what's going on here. Okay, everyone is sending a signal, but only a small percentage of people can interpret the signal. Now, when I say interpret, the typical person, they are picking up on 10 to 30% of this information. So the typical person is only getting 10% up to 30% of the information from other people. So they're not getting the whole story about a person. If this information is being transmitted over, and this information is coming over, a typical person will get 10 to 30% of this person's information, but that's not the whole story about this person. So typical people are measuring and analyzing each other with only 10 to 30% of information. An empath picks up on 50 to 100% of a person's information. So we as empaths know more of the story about the person. We know more because we're getting more. We know more. We know more about the person, their tendencies, what's going on with them. We know more of the truth of how they are, who they are, than a typical person would know. We know more of the truth. Even if this person right here tells us information, because we know more of the information, we can sense what is true and what is not true about what the person's saying, because we know more, because we're getting more from them, because the way that we're designed, we know more of the truth of what's going on. Where a typical person would miss that. They would miss finding the truth. So empaths are like natural truth tellers or lie detectors. we can tell when something's up. We can sense that something's not right because of our higher level of sensibility. So this is one of the reasons why I don't want to turn off the information coming in, is because it helps me know about the person. So how do I not turn this off and also not drown from it? Well, maybe we have to do this differently. It's probably what we need to do, right? We need to do this differently. Instead of just waiting for the information to come to us and absorb it, maybe there's a different way to do this. So I don't want to turn this off. I just want to be the one controlling it. I want to control the 50 to 100%, not have it just come and dump in me. I got to change the way I'm using this gift. And that's what I figured out how to do, is how to use the gift differently so I can keep it on as high as it can be. I can keep it on. Wait till you see what I show you next. Okay, like how to do this. This is so good. This like changed my life. Changed my life huge. Because I used to be the absorber, the soak it up, the overanalyze all this information, and oh, it was destructive to me. Destructive. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show you. Okay, so I want this to stay on as high as I can get it. I want my neurological design to be as close to 100% as possible, but not to absorb any of it. So watch this. Okay. Currently, you could be, I haven't talked to you personally, so I don't know, but there's a good chance you are unconsciously absorbing other people's information. Let me demonstrate what that means. What that means is so this is your consciousness of your brain. This is your subconscious. Let me just take a moment and help distinguish the two. When you're awake, you are conscious and you are doing things throughout the day. You are consciously getting dressed, brushing your teeth, eating breakfast, cleaning up the house, going to work, talking to people, doing this, doing that, and you are conscious. And during all of this, your subconscious is also working. Your subconscious runs your body. Okay, your subconscious, this is very important, runs your body. That means it is working your liver, your kidneys, your digestive system, your heartbeat, your breathing, your blood pumping, everything, holding your bladder so it's not, you're not wet in your pants. I mean, it's holding everything, right? It's doing everything. Your subconscious is running the whole entire function of the body, which is important to recognize that it is constantly running the whole entire body. Consciously, we can't run our body. There's no way. We would die. If we tried to consciously run our body, we can't do it. We are not consciously capable of keeping our body alive by telling all of our organs what to do. We would wet our pants and die. We just would. We can't keep track of everything. So the subconscious is super, super, super powerful and way more higher developed than us consciously. So what happens to an empath is that the neurological design of an empath is that subconscious that runs your body, your subconscious is scanning people sensing there's something wrong. Then your subconscious is then absorbing. It's absorbing this. Oops, hold on. Where'd that little line come from? It's then absorbing this into your body because subconsciously your empath gift says, oh, this person's hurting. Well, since this person is hurting, I'm going to help take away their pain. And so one way that the person goes to take away somebody else, help somebody else feel better, is you take their pain away from them. So an empath unconsciously is sensing and feeling these pains from another person. And one way the empaths go to help is like, oh, I sense your pain. Let me feel that for you. And they literally take them on. And in some cases, it actually removes it from the person because they transferred the emotion or the trouble or the thoughts and feelings to their own body. And then an empath unconsciously is absorbing other people's pains. And as they absorb other people's pains, this person feels better. Now this person is happy. And the empath is happy because they got to help. And now this empath is carrying other people's pains. Now, this is unconscious. This is not usually a conscious thing that this empath is doing, because if they knew that this was going on, they would understand why they are struggling as an empath, because they're actually unconsciously taking on other people's pains to help them. They think this is coaching. This is not coaching. This is not coaching. This is called absorbing. And many empaths do this unconsciously because their brain unconsciously is seeing their pains, identifying them. And one way to help is that some empaths can absorb other people's pains and they don't even know that it's happening. And this is their way of helping or coaching people. But now the empath is going to suffer. And so now the empath has to go eat something, munch on food, got to go do something, either eating or some other thing to make them feel better, because now they're hurting more. And they don't realize they absorbed pain from this client or from this family member. But this is unconscious. And I find that these types of empaths generally don't know that they've done this and that they're doing this. And these clients feel amazing. And so they refer other people, and then more people come to this coach, and then this empath coach, and then the coach soaks up more of their pain. And now this empath is just suffering. Yes, they can help people, but it's also hurting them, which then hurts their relationships, and then their business can't thrive because they max out on their suffering. And now they can't add more clients because they have too much pain inside their own body. But this is coaches, life coaches that are counselors or therapists, whoever it is, they reach a maximum number of people because that's all the pain that they can carry. And this is not healthy. It's not good for any empath to carry emotion, but this is very unconscious that's happening. And so this is the subconscious or the unconscious part of us, that we're unconscious of what our subconscious is doing. And it's identifying these pains and very innocently absorbing them to alleviate the pain and the suffering of the other person. And we think, as a life coach, we think, oh, wow, look, I'm a great coach. but then at the end of the day, we're the ones suffering. We have aches and pains in our body we can't explain. The doctors say there's nothing wrong with you. You can't fix your aches and pains. They're like, they just don't fix. They don't heal. Empaths will end up having ailments that are unexplainable. And when empaths have ailments that are unexplainable and they just won't go away, it's because they've soaked up the pain and the hurts and the memories, the thoughts, the feelings from other people thinking that they're helping that person, but they're actually slowly destroying themselves because now they have their pain inside their body and they don't know it. So this is not healthy, what's going on here. Did I go through this phase? Did I do this? Yes. I caught myself doing this to clients to absorb their pains. I thought I was coaching. It's not coaching. It's it's helpful to the person, but it's damaging to you. This is not coaching. It's called absorbing. And then when you have other people's emotions inside your body, you 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 can't figure yourself out. You have identity confusion, like how do you feel? What do you think? Your thoughts are hard to discern. Your head's messy. It's hard to, tough to make decisions because you got so much other people's stuff inside your body. And then you max out. And then sometimes what happens to empaths is that they actually like literally burn out. They're burning out because they just have so much inside of them. So this is very unconscious that this happens, but usually it's happening to every empath until they make a change. So I'm not telling you this is happening to you, but I'm suggesting it's happening to you. And if this is possible that this is happening to you, then we gotta make a change. We gotta stop absorbing. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Just because you can absorb doesn't mean you should absorb. It is not a function of being an empath that you want to continue. It will give you ailments and sicknesses and body aches that you can't fix. You don't need that. So stop absorbing. That's not a healthy thing. Even though you can do it, doesn't mean you should. So start today with stop absorbing and replace this with scanning. Scanning. So let me show you what scanning is. Now, scanning, this is a conscious thing. So we're moving it from a subconscious. We're moving this from a subconscious that you were unconscious of seeing it and absorbing it. We're going to move this to become a conscious scanning where people are hurting, people have problems and challenges, and they have past experiences that are unresolved. You know that. And so you're scanning the person to see what's going on, and that's it. You leave it there. You don't take it. You scan, but you don't save it in you. You scan. We have to train our brain to scan, like, yep, I'm going to check this person. Yep, I can feel it. Yep, I can see it. I can hear it. I can feel it. And I'm going to leave it right there. Leave it in the person. Don't absorb it. It'll kill you. If you absorb too much, it will destroy you. So this is scan, don't save. If it's not mine, release it. And I got to clear my space every day. I got to stay alive. I got to stay healthy. And this is not mean. It's not mean. It's not mean. So this is, and it's different. It's scanning. But Kirk, I can sense people's hurts and pains. I just want to take them away so they feel better. No, 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 no. We teach people how to handle their own pains. We teach them. You taking it on, you might think that's like the coolest thing in the whole entire world. It's not going to be good for you. Anytime somebody else's emotion goes into your body, it will cause damage. Even if you're releasing the emotions later, that negativity that comes into you will damage you. This is like toxic. It's like you're just taking the toxicity of it and putting it in your body. It's going to dampen you and it's going to drop your ability, and you're going to lose your ability to be really high in tune with people. You do not have to take it on. I used to think that I'm supposed to save people. Like I'm supposed to be their savior. And this is called savior complex. Savior complex is I will take on your pains. I will take on your troubles. I will take on your sins. I will take on, all of your issues. That's savior mentality. And you are not a savior. You do not have the power of the savior. And so therefore your flesh will get damaged by these toxic pockets of information. Savior mentality will hurt you and it'll damage you. And I've had people argue with me on this. They're like, "Oh, Kirk, you don't understand." And I said, "Well, I'll check on you in 2 years from now and we'll see how you're doing." Like I said at the beginning, I'm still coaching 19 years later. The lifespan of an empath life coach is about 3 years, 3 to 4 years. An empath life coach usually quits after 3 to 4 years because they can't handle it anymore. Guess why? Because they keep taking on other people's pains. You can't last. You won't last. It's not good for you. And you could be unconsciously doing this. Could be unconsciously soaking it up and you don't know it until today. And you're going to go, wait a minute, I'm not absorbing anymore. I'm going to start scanning and I'm going to leave this in the person and I'm going to teach them how to release it. The way we use our empath gift is we are able to use our empath gift to identify what it is. And then we teach the person how to release it because we can find it. We are good at finding what's going on inside of a person. We can see, feel, and hear it. But it doesn't mean we take it on. It means now we teach the person how to release it. And if they don't want to release it, then it's their own choice to keep it. But I am not required to damage myself to help other people. That is not part of the job description. God's told me that. In fact, God got after me and he's like, Kirk, you're hurting yourself. Stop it. You're not going to last. He told me, he says, I'm going to need you for years and years, Kirk. Don't absorb. Don't absorb. It's going to mess with your system and you're going to get hurt. And sometimes the hurts are irreversible. You can't recover from them. So I've changed my ways over the years. That's why I'm still here 19 years later. And why I can still do what I do and still be in tune and still help people is because I use my empath gift consciously to scan people and I leave it in them. And then I teach them how to release it. And there's like, 100 different techniques of how to release pain and release past experiences and reconcile and forgive and heal and mend. There's so many different techniques of how to do this that find your favorites and then teach them to people so they do the work. And now they can start to work on their own pains. And I don't have to take it on. I've even had coaching where people have tried to give me their pains. And I'm like, no, I'm not the savior. I don't have savior complex. No, I'm not doing that. That is yours. That is yours to work on. I'm here to help you see, feel, and hear what to work on. That's how I play my role is I'll show you exactly what to work on, the one that's hurting you the most. I can help you see that because I can check your timeline, I can check your body, I can check your thoughts and emotions, I can check your language, I can tell you where your problem is and what to do, but I am not taking it on. I've already worked hard enough to clear out my own hurts and pains. I don't need yours in my body. But this is the beginning of a huge shift for you if you don't know about this. But to stop absorbing, you tell your brain, we no longer absorb. We do not take it on. We do not take it on, even though unconsciously that's been happening. That is a rule. Brain and body, stop absorbing other people's emotions. We don't do that anymore. Do not absorb people's emotions. Stop absorbing. Starting today, we scan, and then we teach that person how to release. Now, you could be walking through the grocery store and your brain and body are going to go, oh, that person's suffering. Let's take their pain. Oh, that person's over by the bananas is suffering. Let's take their pain. And you think you might be like, oh, I'm doing such a good thing. You're not. It's like you can't drink a cup of toxic energy and think that that passing through your body is going to help you. That just doesn't work. Oh, I've gone the rounds with some people before where they're like, no, this is my calling is to suffer for people. I'm like, no, it's not. No, you're twisted in your head. That's not how to use your empath gift. That is a unconscious default mode. The only reason your body is absorbing is because it's a default mode that it uses to create safety. It's like it absorbs all the information around you, but it is not the level of being an empath. A good quality, high level empath you'll never get there if you're absorbing other people's energy. You do not have to suffer for somebody else to be better. It's not required. I do not have to take on other people's pains so that they can be better. Some empaths think they are, and I will not agree with them for the rest of my life because you do not have to do it. I used to do that, but I don't do that anymore because it was killing me. It was killing me bad. It was just ruining me. And so now I know better. Now I know better. Okay, I see some questions in the Q&A. Let me go to those questions here really quick and answer some questions. I hope this is making sense. I make these diagrams and I'm like, oh, I like doing a show and tell, like show and explain. So I hope that works. If it does, will you tell me in the chat if my visuals help? I'm always curious if they help. Always curious. Okay, next question. Um, okay, the next question is, this is great, Kirk. I'm curious, what books, academic references can we also find on this? Man, I wish I had places to turn you to. I wish I had a book to hand to you. I wish that this is my 19 years of experience. That like I wish I had like a list of references of like go here, go here, go here. I don't. I don't. A lot of this I have learned on my own. Like this is my own way of like not only figuring myself out, but also like I've gone to a lot of seminars. I've gone to a lot of workshops, a lot of classes about coaching and presenting and some business classes and always hungry for more information, like to understand myself and this empath side. Um, oh, there is a person that, oh, I tell you what I'll do. There's a person that I found that I'll send you an email after this webinar. And there is a person you can look up that talks a lot about empaths that I actually feel like they're on. There's some people, nah, I don't. I hear what they say. I don't agree with my own personal experience, what I found and what they're saying. That's their own thing. But my thing, it doesn't quite jive with their thing. But I did find this one person. I don't have their name in front of me, but I will do this. I will send you an email after later today, and I'll put that in there so you can check on that person and listen to them. Because that person, I was like, okay, this person's on. Not like I know everything, but I definitely am careful listen and learn. So I'll send that to you though, if you're open to that. Cool. Okay, good. Okay, next question. Does this play into why I have a hard time letting go of things from the past? It seems like negative experiences trigger a lot, and I feel all the emotions over and over again. I don't know how to let them go, even if I was just an observer of the situation, even for years. Yes. So when you feel okay, so as an empath, you have a heightened level of sensitivity. Now, let me go back to our natural safety mechanism. Let me just say this. Like, let's say I'm walking down a path in the forest. I'm in the forest. Okay, I'm walking down this path. My brain and my body are going to listen to every sound. My eyes are going to be looking everywhere because in the forest, there could be a bear, there could be a wolf, there could be coyotes, and it's kind of like the main things that would get you, in a forest. But my ears would be tuned in to listening. My senses would be noticing my surroundings to make sure that it can sense anything that could be harmful so I could be safe. So my mind and body, my brain and body are in always have that safety going on. Like when you walk into a new building, your body and your brain are checking out everything. If it's dark and you're walking through a parking garage, your brain and body are sensing everything and it's absorbing every bit of information to be able to interpret that. Am I safe? Am I okay? Is this okay? What is this? What is this? What is this? So that safety mechanism in an empath is multiplied. So an empath has we have a natural side to us to absorb information from other people, to absorb. It's information. And so we're curious, am I safe with this person? Is there anything I need to know about this person? And so to get those data points, because you are high level on sensitivity, you're soaking in any and all information from that person as possible. And then all that information comes into you, their thoughts, their feelings, but we never told the brain and body, now let go of all that information. Like that's not part of the protocol. The natural safety mechanism is to gather data about what's going on. And so that happens with the person. We're gathering data and then it gets stored. And then the next person, and then the next person, and the next person, the next person. And we're soaking up their thoughts and feelings. And we never knew, nobody told us that as an empath, you have to clear your space. You have to reset because you just absorbed all these people's information today. At the end of the day, empaths don't know that you got to clear your space at the end of the day. Even halfway through the day, even at lunchtime, to be able to clear your space because you're soaking in other people's information, absorb because of your safety default mechanism. You don't even know what's happening. And so empaths tend to get very overwhelmed easily. It's because you're already so full of the constant data collection for your safety default mechanism inside of you. So empaths need to clear their space at lunch and in the evening. Like, okay, I've soaked up somebody from somewhere, my neighbor. I walked through the grocery store. I went to a picnic. I've been around my kids all day, or you've been online reading social media. An empath on social media absorbs the energy of the person who wrote the post. So if you're reading a post on social media, the person who wrote that, when you read that, your energy goes through that post to that person and checks them and absorbs information from them. That's why empaths struggle with social media, is because they're just picking up on people's information constantly through every single video, every single post, and it just overwhelms the empath. So as an empath, we have to clear our space so we can stay calm, fresh, and connected. Calm, fresh, and connected. We have to clear our space at least at the end of the day, every single day. But Kirk, what if I'm not around people? What if I'm just working from home? Your neighbors, your brain and body are picking up on your neighbors. They're picking up on what's going on in your neighborhood for a couple streets away. So the name of the game is, for an empath, is to clear your space every day. And what's interesting is that usually they don't clear it at all. Oh, just saw the time. Okay, I got to go fast. Okay. So let me just show you this really quick on clearing. Clearing. Okay, so back to scanning. We use our empath gift to see what's going on, and then we teach the person a technique on how to let go. I mean, as an empath and as a life coach, the thing you want to know is you want to like learn 5, 6, 7 different let go techniques. Let go techniques are the game. I mean, it is just the gold of the planet right now. Forgiveness is a let go technique. And then and forgiveness is always number one. Forgiveness, if you don't know much about forgiveness, read about forgiveness. Learn how to forgive, learn how to teach other people how to forgive. That is the number one let go technique. All other let go techniques are great, but forgiveness is always the best. But if the person's not into forgiving, well, then you teach them other let go techniques so that they can release and reconcile experiences from their past and their struggles with relationships. But use your gift to scan, not to absorb. We do not absorb. So let's say at the end of the day, you're like, oh, I got other people's information in my space. So how do you clear it? It's a visual exercise. It also can be a physical exercise, but to know that in your space, your personal space, or in your body, you have somebody else's information, their energy or information. And at lunchtime or at dinner time, you then find the pocket of information and you choose to have it move to the outside of your space. Now, what I do too, I'm just going to throw this in here for those of you who need some place to put it, because some empaths are like, I got to send it somewhere. Where do I send it? So I suggest have that energy, that information from that person that got into your space. You might not even know whose it is, but I ask myself the question, how many pockets of information do I have inside my space? Oh, I got 3? Okay. And the number is going to come from my brain or from my body telling me how many I have. So then I'm going to say, okay, I want all 3 of those to be removed from my space. So I ask how many there are. I also like to ask where they're at, how many and where. Then I ask my brain and body to move those outside my personal space. And then I ask, then send them to the sun. And then they go to the sun and they evaporate. They're gone. Now, let's say they're in my body. I ask, are there any pockets of information or energy from other people that got clear to my body today? Did any of them get absorbed? Oh, there's 3. Oh, there's one in my neck, one in my chest, one in my back. Okay, let's pull it out of our neck, our chest, and my back and move them to the outside of the circle. And then once they get to the outside of the circle, send them to the sun. and they go to the sun and they evaporate. So I'm asking how many and where, and then I move them. But if you notice what I'm doing, I'm showing you a visual. I literally in my mind visualize these pockets of information, and I'm asking, what is not mine that's somebody else's that's in my space or in my body? How many are they and where are they? And if you get no number and no location, I would always practice removing 3. Even if your brain and body say nothing, just imagine that there's 3, maybe 1 in your body and 2 in your space, and move them outside your circle. Imagine this, visualize this. Every day, train and practice with your body and brain to remove 3. 1 that's in your body, 1 that's in, 2 that are in your space. And just imagine they're there and imagine them coming out, moving out to your outside your space. Your space is about 3 to 4 feet away from you. It moves outside the space. Imagine this right here. Imagine this. Then now it's out of your body, out of your space. And now imagine that they're floating up and they go clear to the sun and poof, they evaporate. They're gone. They're not mine to carry. It was unconsciously absorbed. And I do not need to go to sleep with it. Because the longer it stays in my space, the longer it stays in my body, they get assumed to be mine. They get assumed to be mine. And then if I try to go get help to work on these issues, they don't remove because they're not even mine. That's not mine. That's why you can't solve that problem because it's not even your problem. It's not even yours. You don't even know the origination of it. It's not even yours. So impasse, super important that we clear every single day. Every day. Just pick 3, 1 in the body, 2 in your space, move it outside your circle. It's about 4 feet from you. Imagine this little red blob come out of your chest, go float out 4 or 5 feet away. It's hovering in the air. And then once all 3 of them are hovering in the air about 5 feet from you, then imagine them floating up to the sun and they're gone. Clear your space and your body every day. And it might take 5, 6, 7 times before your brain and body finally get on board and start telling you that they're in there. Because right now it's like, oh, there's nothing in here. It's all us. And it's like, no, it's not all us. You've assumed that it's us. It came from somewhere else. What is it? So your brain and body are going to say, oh, we're good. We're fine. And you're like, no, there's at least 3. Let's move 3. And because you keep practicing this, your brain and body will start to recognize that there are other pockets of information that are not yours. So that you can train your mind, your brain and body to move them. This is so important for you as an empath. And it's in you. Keep practicing this every single day. Every day. lunch and dinner. Or right before you go to bed. And if you're like, oh, I don't need to do that. Okay. Then you try to figure out your ailments that you have. You try to figure out why you're confused and you can't make decisions. You try and figure out why you have little to no motivation. This is a big deal. Us as empaths, we are highly sensitive. We have a neurological design that's not typical, and it needs special care and special training to be able to handle it and manage it. And so that means a lot of incoming information. And we got to train our brain to scan, not absorb, and clear at the end of the day. We have to. We're not like everybody else. Other people will be like, oh, I don't have to do that. It's like, yeah, I know. This is my thing. This is how I care for myself. This is what I do. So empaths are the emotional first responders of the world, gently offering compassion and helping others feel seen and heard. Their gift, our gift, is just as vital as a doctor, a teacher, or a leader because they heal hearts and restore hope where it's needed the most. And the reason why we play a big role in this is because we can see, feel, and hear things that the typical person can't find. And people today, they don't know how to look inside themselves. They're getting more freaked out about the world, more scared than ever, more hurt than ever, more anxiety than ever, more catastrophizing in their head than ever. They can't even look inside to find what's causing their problems, their patterns, their self-sabotage. But us as empaths, we can see that. And we can see it, and then we can teach them how to handle it. This is what I do. As I teach empaths how to see it, and then what technique to teach that person. There, I have like 72 different techniques I love to teach. But I have my favorite top 10 to help people. And I love doing this. I love helping people by narrowing in on where the problem really is. And then here's a specific technique to be able to help that person. This is what I do. This is what I love doing. I love teaching coaches how to do this, parents how to do this, leaders how to do this, so we can be consciously using our gift to make a difference, not unconsciously absorbing, but consciously scanning, so that I don't have to be cluttered and taking on other people's toxic energy. It's not my thing. I'm not the savior, but I can do this. And this is, of course, this is, it's 9:30, but I just want you to know, when we help somebody with these right here, we're actually helping somebody with a past injury. Something happened to them in the past. You know this. Our past does not evaporate. It does not evaporate. It does not heal itself. Time does not heal past wounds. It doesn't. When they're emotional wounds, they stay with us until they're reconciled. Emotional wounds have to be reconciled. They do not evaporate. They do not just float off into the distance. Time does not cover them. They just sit there still bleeding. And that's where people are suffering the most, is they don't know what to do with those. And so they just stack up. They stack up inside, and people are struggling, and they can't find them. The doctors can't find them, but an empath can. That's why you're needed, is so you can help people with struggles they can't find. And if you're like, yeah, I know this, Kirk, but I'm not quite sure how to do this, well, then we got to talk more. We got to hang around each other more often. There's different levels of empaths. There's the one who's unaware, the overwhelmed, but then there's the healer, the empowered, and the master empath. There's different levels of skill, different levels of ability. But if this is something that interests you, like you want to figure this out, then I would love to teach you. I'd love to train you. So I have two classes, two different levels of classes. I have one that's a master class that you could purchase, and super easy. It's $97. There's four this was a live online course that I did, but now I have the recordings. So you actually would be purchasing the recordings, but there's four trainings that are going to give you a ton of insight. It's for $97. You can go here to 3ke.2/masterclass, and it'll take you to this screen. And then in the bottom right corner, there's a get the recordings. And that will take you to be able to go to the registration page to be able to purchase the recordings of this masterclass, of these four trainings. This will give you great insight, great training. You can pause me, you can rewind me, you can like really absorb all that's in here. And with this, you also get this workbook that has, I think this one has like 95 pages of empath training that come with this. And so great insight to more about you as an empath that will just, and this was built for that particular online class, but this comes with the recordings. So you can really just get some deep insight about yourself and how you actually, your neurological design, how it works. But that, when you go to that page, you'll be able to get access to those four videos and also that workbook. And it's 97, right? It's 97. You fill out your contact information, click next, and then go there for your payment information. But beautiful class, easy to learn and absorb, and your whole family could watch it. You could be like, if you got a partner or spouse, like, hey, watch this with me so you can understand me better. Or maybe your child, one of your children is showing signs of being an empath. Have them sit down and watch it with you. You could talk about it, help them understand themselves better. So great training for you and your family. Because if you are an empath and you got kids, there's at least one of those kids that's picked up your empath abilities. Like they're going to need some help too. And this would help you training them. Now, if you are already an empath, you already understand yourself some, you've already been coaching, and you're like, wait a minute, I kind of want next level. Okay, then I have this program called the Empath Focus Group. Now, what this is all about practice. Sorry, I kind of showed that and then clicked off of it really fast. But this is about practice, where you practice scanning and tracking on real people. Like this is a very intense training because you are doing a lot of practice scanning and then interpreting. If you want to get into being able to consciously scan and then interpret what you're getting, this class is all about increasing your accuracy of that. So if you're an empath and you're like, wow, I want to be better at scanning instead of absorbing, then this is the class you ought to do. This is the class, because then you also are going to learn how to do timelines, how to see a person's timeline, how to help you become a stronger, more healthy empath. Like this is a lot of application. This class is a lot of learning and you'll learn techniques of how to protect yourself, how to empower yourself. But this class right here is application. Every single week, practicing scanning. And then you're part of a live coaching I do every single week on Monday morning. Yeah, this is live. I mean, this is every week. You're going to send in your scans, and then I'm going to coach people through their scans. So it's about practicing and adjusting to get more accurate as an empath. Real live application using your empath gift to increase your accuracy. I know you think you got it, but I'm telling you right now, I can move you to increase your accuracy. So if you are wanting accuracy and be better at scanning and interpreting, then maybe this is the class you ought to get into, is this empath focus group. And so what it is it's an 8-week course. After that, after 8 weeks, it turns into a monthly subscription. So you can stay in as long as you want. You can keep going. It turns into a monthly subscription after the 8 weeks. But every Monday at 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, I'm coaching on this. So you could be part of a weekly coaching on how to become more accurate as an empath. And it's 2 hours of training every Monday, 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. We use Zoom, so there's no travel. Everything's recorded. So if you miss a session, you'll get a recording of that session. You also get my next level of workbook for the Empath Focus Group. So that's another level above the masterclass. I know this says start June 2nd. It's ongoing. Ongoing. Now, if you want to do this class, this, scanning and accuracy, then go here to register, 3ka.2/empath focus. So this is a different registration link. This will sign you up for my coaching that I do every Monday at 8 o'clock. And it's all about scanning, practicing to scan, because you're going to be working on scanning people using a tracking sheet while you scan, and to get more accurate, more conscious about how your empath gift works. Your skill is going to go through the ceiling. You are going to get so good at this. because you're going to be practicing on real live people, people who are in the grocery store or at the restaurant or your neighbor or whoever. You're going to get really good at this because there's a tracking process that I follow that I can teach you, because there's reckless scanning and then there's skilled scanning. Like, to be able to scan somebody, there's some reckless sides of the brain and the body that they look for information that it just stop. It's not healthy to look at. But there are certain things to look for while scanning. And once you get the pattern of how this works, your empath gift increases. It goes through the ceiling. Like, it really multiplies and amplifies when you follow a particular pattern of how you scan. You look for this, then you look for this, then you look for this, and you look for them in a particular order. And what it does is it amplifies your empath gift and improves your accuracy of what you're sensing in people. Because what I want for you is for your gift to amplify, and that what you see, feel, and hear, you know, is correct. Like, somebody can't lie to you. Somebody can't deceive you. Somebody can't manipulate you. Somebody can't like say, that's not true. And you can sit there and go, I know it is. Because there's a lot of deception in the world, a lot of deception. And people will even deceive you of the very thing you're seeing in them. But I want you to be able to be that confident that even when somebody's like arguing with you that you're wrong, you know you're right in what you see. Because people are just hiding their issues. They are covering up their issues more than ever. But I'm not going to fall for that. I want to be accurate in what I see. So I want to help you be accurate. So this could be a really big game changer. So I know this is not normal for me to throw out two options, but this is the registration for the master class, where there's 4 videos already recorded from my last online training. You can get the recordings and the workbook, or you can jump in on my empath focus group and do this training every single week. I hope I'm explaining this that makes sense. I hope so. Now, you're going to be using a tracking process to be able to scan, and then then you send those to me every week, and then we review them. I work with a couple people every single week to review their scans, and you learn from listening to me coach people on how to scan, what to scan, how to interpret. You'll learn a ton being part of this. It's like crazy good, because now you're like getting training on how to do this and listening to me coach people every single week on how to even get better at this. So here, I know I'm over on time here, but I just want to show you this really quick. To register for this, I gotta check one thing here really quick. Okay. Okay, so to register for this, you go to 3ku.2/empath focus. You go to empath focus, and the class, oh wait, sorry. So if you decide to do this empath focus group, which is my coaching every week on Monday, I gotta change this little thing right here. I was like changing the details right here, right? Okay, so if you decide to do this, the empath class where it's every Monday, my coaching every Monday, I will throw in the master class. So you'll get that $97 program with the 4 videos and that workbook. If you decide to register for this empath focus group, I will give you the master class, the 4 1-hour sessions, and that study material. And I also have 2 bonus videos I'm going to give you. One is an empath's relationship with money. I want to train you about how to connect with money as an empath. You're going to love this. It's going to help you a ton with money. And then also your relationship with time. Empaths struggle with time and money a lot. So here's 2 very specific trainings. They're both about 40 minutes long. This one's about money. This one's about time. I'm going to send these to you as bonuses if you decide to sign up for this empath focus group, which is for the next 8 weeks. After that, it turns into a monthly subscription every Monday. You already got these details. So anyway, here's the money training bonus, the time training bonus. And so you'll get the masterclass as a bonus if you decide to do this. So the focus group is on when you go here, 3K/empath focus. If you decide to do this and get all those bonuses, the price is $650. But I'm going to give you a promo code. You know what a promo code is, right? So once you fill out this information, you go to the next page, and there's going to be a spot to type in a promo code. And the promo code is FOCUS, FOCUS. And so it's on the registration page as $650, but when you use the promo code of FOCUS, it takes off $151. So it's $499. So it's $499 if you use the promo code FOCUS. And so what you get is this 8-week course, which is every Monday, unless it's a holiday or I'm out of town, but you'll get 8 weeks of training, empath focus group. You'll get where I'm going to train you about accuracy, about scanning, about interpreting. And then you also get the master class and the study guide, and also these 2 training videos on money and time. I hope that made sense. There's a lot to say really fast here at the end. But if you're seeing that I could help you, or if I'm the right kind of teacher for you, and it's the right time for you, time and teacher. If you're like, oh, I want to learn this is like so fun. It is like really exciting to understand yourself better through practice. So you'll get this training right here to watch and learn. And then this particular program, Empath Focus Group, now it's like, let's do it. Here's the masterclass to learn, but now let's take action. Let's practice this. And it's okay, no matter what skill level you're at. Even if you're brand new at this, you are going to accelerate your growth pattern through this practice really fast. Because once you see how this works with scanning and tracking and what you're looking for, you get better at it. When you know what you're looking for and you know how to look for it, you get better and better and better at it every single week because you know how to practice. That's the thing I struggled with is in the beginning, I didn't know how to practice. What's the format? What's the protocol? What's the pattern? What's the pattern that unlocks my gift to function better? How do you unlock this to even be better at this? And so I want to pass this on to you, what I do. And so you can get better at this. So if this is your thing, I would love to work with you. So what you do is you'd go to this right here, 3k.2/empath focus. So it's $499 for all of this. That puts you into this training I do every Monday, and you're going to eat it up. And if this is too much, like you don't want to do the practice, then come over here and register here, 3k.2 masterclass. And then this will give you the 4 training videos and the workbook, this is fantastic too. I love it. I'm very tickled, very happy with both of these programs. I just wanted you to know about both of them. And so you can have an option of which one to jump into to help you with your next steps. Because I got to go. My webinar is over. But I'm here. And I love to do this training. It's on my mind every single day. God's inspiring me to help as many empaths as possible. And he's telling me to hurry. Because there's stuff coming in the world that we got to help people with. I think the biggest part for me as I've practiced and got better at this is I've learned how to empower people instead of rescue people. I'm not here to rescue. I want to be an empath that empowers people. And there's a difference. Get a screenshot of this so you can look at this. There's a really big difference between an empath who is rescuing and an empath who is empowering. Because we can see, feel, and hear more than the typical person, we can empower people. This is what we want to be. This is what we want to do, is empower other people, not just go there and rescue them. Because if we only rescue, what happens is they don't know what to do to stay strong. And so then the person slips back to where they were. So I would love to train you on how to become an empath that empowers other people, teaching them techniques, seeing where to work on what to work on first. But great to look at this. If you're seeing that, wow, maybe I've been doing more rescuing than empowering. Well, I think now's the time to step up to empowering. But you can read through this and look at it more if you want to take a picture of it real quick or a screenshot of it. So I want to help you get from overwhelmed to healing to empowered. That's where I want to help you get to, is to empowered. And then because you're empowering people and you know what's going on through that consistent service that you're providing to people, it's going to move you into that master empath level. And it just keeps opening up. There's just so many beautiful parts to how this works. It's just so cool. Where one time in my life, this was something that literally was destroying me on the inside, now is causing me to come alive even more and more every single day. So if you want, I would jump on this, use the promo code FOCUS. That'll take $151 off. You get the empath class, which was $97. You get that as a bonus, plus these other two trainings. I think this is a sweet opportunity, especially if you're ready to actually practice. And you'll see on my calls on Mondays, just so gentle, so supportive. It's a great atmosphere. I'm there to help, and show what to do. And again, no matter what skill level you're at, you'll fit. Even if you're brand new at this, if you want to learn how to do this and be more accurate, this is what you would want to do, is this right here, this offer. Cool. All right, very good. Very, very good. So the 151 off, it goes for a couple days, 2-3 days, and then I turn it off and it's back to 650. So it's a good opportunity to save $151. I'm going to go right now and write up an email and put these screenshots in an email so you can have all the details in an email. But definitely register before the time's up, which is 3 days. I like to give 3 days for people to make a decision. You can talk to your spouse, your partner, tell them what you're up to, or find a way to be able to have the money to do this, because you doing better at this is going to make all the difference in your life. Super cool. Okay, cool. Okay, I got to run. I just went over quite a bit here, but if anything you got from me today, let me just go back to this one screen really fast, right here. At the end of the day, clear your space, clear your body, clear your space, send it to the sun. And then work on your own stuff, your own things that are inside you. Those also need to be released from your body and from your space. But definitely clear out everybody else's so you can get back to working on yours. There's no reason to carry everybody else's with you, right? Take care of yourself. You're a very unique individual. You are unique. And however you got to this point, either it was from trauma or God gave you this gift or you've developed it over the years, it's time to use it to make a difference in other people's lives. Because you can see, feel, and hear things that most people can't even see, feel, and hear. And that makes you very important, very needed, And you're going to see as the next couple years click by how important you are to helping other people get through their stuff. So, kind of giving you a heads up, get better at this as soon as you can. Because the more skill you can learn, the more practice you're going to have is going to help you be more prepared. It's like a preparedness step. Learn this gift that you have so you can be good at it. So you can help other people, help your family, help the people you care about, and then all those other people that are going to come to you. Cool. All right, cool. Okay, so watch for an email. I'll send all these details to you so you can have it in writing in front of you, and then make a choice. Jump into grab one of these programs. Cool. All right, super cool. Fun to hang out with you here this morning. I hope we get to connect again sometime, and I'll take you on another journey with another topic. Cool. All right. Have a good day and big love to you, and we'll talk soon. See ya. Bye bye.